New York. Donald Trump will not make own closing argument in his civil business trial in New York after lawyers objected to the judge's insistence that the former president stick to related matters. Judge Arthur Engoron revoked his conditional permission for the unusual plan on Wednesday, a day before closing arguments. He said Trump must follow rules that apply to lawyers' closing arguments and cannot attack character of his opponents, judge or others in court system. Trump's legal team said those restrictions unfairly silenced him. After Wednesday's result, Trump lawyer Alina Habba responded, "Is anyone surprised anymore? The trial could cost Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in fines and eliminate his ability to do business in New York." The former president, current 2024 Republican frontrunner, denies any wrongdoing and has called the lawsuit a hoax, a political attack on him. The hearing comes after Engoron ruled in a preliminary hearing that Trump had been committing for years. Engoron will decide the case, which alleges remaining conspiracy, insurance and falsifying business records. It is extremely rare for people with lawyers to make their own closing arguments. But Trump's lawyers privately signaled the judge last week that the former president planned to personally submit a brief in addition his legal team's arguments. James' office objected, saying the proposal would amount to testimony without cross-examination. But he said Trump's remarks should remain within confines lawyers' closing arguments, the interpretation of relevant material facts in evidence and application relevant law to those facts. The judge wrote that Trump would not be allowed to introduce new evidence, comment on unrelated matters, make a campaign speech, or blame judge, his staff, the attorney general, his lawyer's court system. Trump's lawyer, Christopher Kise, said these restrictions are fraught with ambiguity, greatly increasing the likelihood of misinterpretation or inadvertent violation. Engoron said those were reasonable, normal limits and that he would allow comment on the attorney general's arguments but not personal attacks. Kise called the restrictions very unfair. "You are not allowing President Trump, who has been unfairly humiliated by an out-of-control, politically motivated attorney general, to speak about the things that need to be spoken about," the attorney wrote. "Take it or leave it," the judge replied, adding in all-capital letters that he would not be pushing back the already extended deadline for a response. After hearing from Trump's lawyers by Wednesday's noon deadline, Engoron wrote that he assumed Trump had not agreed to the ground rules and therefore would speak earlier in argument. The judge also denied Kise's request to postpone closing arguments until Jan. 29 because of death of Trump's mother-in-law, Amalija Knavs. On Tuesday, the judge expressed his condolences but said Trump was sticking to sched.